The dog kept sleeping beside the baby. Everyone told them it was dangerous. They were the ones who were wrong. Sunny had found her position on the third night after Jonah came home. Not in the nursery, in the Moses basket on the living room floor where Jonah slept for the first weeks. The yellow Labrador had pressed herself along the outside of the basket, face resting on her front paws at basket level, and had not moved until morning. Elena Marchetti had woken at 3 a.m. for the feeding and found them like that. Sunny's amber eyes open and forward, the steady rise and fall of a newborn's chest visible above the basket edge. Sunny had not touched the baby. She had not been inside the basket. She was simply there, fully awake, at basket level, in the dark. Elena took a photo. She showed it to her mother the following morning. Her mother said immediately, "Get the dog away from the baby." Her midwife, who came for the 10-day check, said the same thing. Her sister-in-law sent 3 links about infant safety and dogs within 4 hours of being told the story. Every person she described it to said some version of the same sentence. The dog should not be near the newborn. Elena read all of it. She understood the concern. She also knew Sunny, who was 4 years old and had been in their home since she was 8 weeks old, and she trusted something she could not fully articulate, a quality of Sunny's attention around the baby that was different from anything she had seen from the dog before. It was not curiosity. It was not playfulness. It was the attention of an animal who was doing something. Her husband, Marco, was a civil engineer. He thought in systems. He watched Sunny for 3 nights and said, "She's monitoring him. I don't know what that means exactly, but she's monitoring him." They let her stay. If you stay for stories about what animals sense, before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. On night 9, Elena was feeding Jonah at 4 a.m. when Sunny stood up. She had been lying at basket level. As always, when she rose, moved to the basket, placed her front paws on the basket edge, and pressed her nose directly to Jonah's chest. Not his face, his chest. She held it there for 3 full seconds, pulled back, looked at Elena, pressed her nose back to his chest. Elena put Jonah down and picked him up again immediately. He was warm, he was breathing. He was not visibly in distress. She held him against her chest and felt his heartbeat, and it felt not wrong, just fast. She had been with this baby every day for 9 days, and his heartbeat felt faster than the past 4 nights. She woke Marco. She said, "Something feels different. I need you to be awake." They called the midwife line at 4:30. The midwife told them, "If you feel something is different, bring him in. Trust the instinct." They drove to St. Catherine's Children's Emergency Department at 5 a.m., with Jonah wrapped in his yellow blanket. The attending physician, Dr. Roshani Patel, assessed him within 15 minutes and ordered an EKG. Jonah had a congenital cardiac arrhythmia, specifically a form of supraventricular tachycardia that had been producing episodes of elevated heart rate since before birth. In a newborn, these episodes present without the chest pain or breathlessness that would flag them in an adult. They produce a subtle elevated heart rate, alterations in the body's autonomic output, and changes in the breath chemistry of the infant, changes that accumulate and compound with each episode. Over 9 nights, Jonah had experienced multiple brief episodes. Each one had altered his breath chemistry in ways that built on the previous event. Sunny had been reading that chemistry from inches away every night, all night. On night 9, the cumulative signal had reached a threshold she could not ignore. Dr. Amelia Cross, the pediatric cardiologist who saw Jonah the following morning, reviewed 9 nights of data and explained what Sunny had been detecting. She said, "Cardiac arrhythmia in neonates produces a specific constellation of autonomic output changes, heart rate variability, skin temperature gradients, hormonal shifts that are expressed in the body's chemistry at the surface level. A dog with a strong scent, focus on a person will register these changes as deviations from the established baseline." Sunny had established Jonah's baseline on night 1. She had been tracking deviation from it every night since. She looked at Elena and said, "The fact that you came in when you did changed the management plan for your son. A later presentation would have meant a more complicated conversation. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard." Jonah was started on medication that regulated the arrhythmia. He was monitored for 4 days. He came home with a cardiac event recorder worn for 60 days following discharge. His cardiologist has described his case as managed and developing normally. Sonny was at the door when they brought him home. She did not press her nose to his chest again that night. She lay beside the basket and exhaled and closed her eyes. Elena sat on the floor next to her for 20 minutes in the quiet of 5 a.m. and did not say anything. The photo she took on night 3. Sonny's face at basket level in the dark, eyes open, the newborn sleeping beyond, is framed in their hallway now. Under it, in her handwriting, 9 nights. Every guardian deserves to be seen, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Every nurse, every midwife, every well-meaning person told her to move the dog. What would have happened if she had? She doesn't answer that question out loud. She thinks about it sometimes. At 4 a.m. beside the basket, when the house is quiet and everything is exactly as it should be, what did your dog do that you still cannot explain? Drop it below. These stories save lives when they're shared.